I wanted to introduce everybody to Jack. He is the farm sand jack lawn crower. We're going to do a couple different videos on him. He is not necessarily the nicest rooster. If you do turn your back on him, he will come after you. But considering he's our only rooster that is a sand jack lawn crower, we do have to keep him around at least until we get some young males from him. Him and I always got along well enough to be in the same area, but recently, because he is turning out to be a big boy and getting his testosterone going, and I don't know if you can see, but he also has only one eye. He is missing his right eye. That in turn also added on to why he is so jumpy, skittish, and to be a little aggressive. Now we're going to do a few things with him. One, how you can get along with a rooster that is being aggressive towards you, and things you need to do to keep everybody that comes onto your farm safe. Is your responsibility, just like if you have an aggressive dog, to keep people that are coming down to visit safe, because a rooster, especially of his size, can do quite a bit of damage, and they can severely hurt people, and we don't want that happening. So he is young yet. That's one reason why his crow has been lacking in the lawn crower fashion. Every now and then he's starting to get a crow that's really decent. That is not it. So yeah, we'll do a couple videos with him, how you can get your birds a little more friendly, how you can coexist with a mean rooster. We're also going to give reasons why maybe your once friendly rooster has decided to start being aggressive towards you. There's a lot more reasons than people think. Just as simple as changing your clothes that you wear outside normally around your birds. When the seasons change, that if you're wearing a certain hat, a parka, a hoodie, a big heavy fluffy coat, and then one day when it's not so cold, you decide to go outside in a sweatshirt, no hat or anything like that, the bird can actually really not know who you are from that sudden change. They're not going on face recognition always. They're going to go by what you're wearing. So we've had birds that we've stepped out in a warm winter day just wearing a light coat or a sweatshirt, and it's different from a big bulky work coat, and the hens would just go running. It was something, even dealing with it as many years as we have, it always is a surprise, and sometimes you tend to forget that those things can happen. So think about your clothing, what you're doing, your normal everyday outerwear. Sometimes you don't want to change everything all at once. So if you have your normal bulky outside clothes with hats, bulky pants, or big muck boots or anything like that, think of maybe changing one or two things at the most, but keep, in general, letting them see that not everything has changed, so they can still recognize who you are. Now, that's not saying every bird is going to do that. We have plenty of birds that we can be outside, shirts, t-shirts, and a pair of shorts, and then come out the next day in our full winter gear, and they don't care. That's not going to be every bird. It's not every time. It's some of the things you want to think about with some of your birds. They will have a problem with it. So on top of the thing that I've already said about clothing, you have other things that may have triggered your rooster to start not liking you. Or it's not always about them not liking you, it's about them being scared of you. Or you're too dominant over top of them, things like that. So simple things in like your clothing, not only, as I said, about your winter wear to then changing into your summer wear. Not all are going to be having a problem with that, but some will. Some cases are, again, like your boots. If you're one of those people that have the big high top shoes, boots, that when you don't lace them up, they tend to kind of fold over to the side, and that folding over to the side makes your boots look like another bird. That then they're relating to being another rooster coming at them. They're challenging them. So think about your boots. Again, not every bird, not everyone's going to have that problem, but some are going to be a little scared of it. Other things. With that being said, your boots kicking at them. If you're trying to push them out of the way, they're coming near you, and you give them a nice little kick or nudge off to the side, that is a challenge. Another is brooms. If you take a broom out, you're sweeping. That can also be seen as an aggressive action towards them. That sweeping motion, that brushing on the sidewalk. Watch how your birds interact with each other if they're fighting with each other. Those actions can be seen as a challenge or a fight. Other things can be where, with that same broom, you're holding it out in front of them, trying to keep them from getting to you. That can also be considered an act of aggression. These are all things I'm going to say are mostly acts of aggression. Not always. If you have an aggressive rooster, make sure you're not turning your back on them. They do tend to attack more if you're not watching them. They take that opportunity to do a quick sucker punch. Let's see. Other things we can say when they're younger or they're friendly birds, you're picking them up when they're not expecting it. That can be showing they should fear you or not be near you. You don't ever want to just grab your rooster while they're eating or anything like that. You're taking them away from their daily activity, things that they're trying to be in there, being the boss of with all the other birds, or trying to show their hens where their food is and trying to be a decent rooster. So if you're picking them up, quick surprise, they're not ready for it, you give them quick anxiety. You tend not to do that. If you want to pick up your rooster, your hens, do it when they're ready for it, when they're facing you, if they want to be picked up. Another one is yelling, screaming, high-pitched voices. There again, you can have a negative effect on them. If you're watching your birds when they have a predator come over top, or any kind of predator come near them or in their vision, they start high-pitched screaming, squawking, yelling. All those actions are going to make you possibly be feared by certain birds because there is no predator around. All the birds start yelling and screaming. They get aggravated, scared. There's nothing out there except for you. So be careful on how you talk to your birds, how you stand up to them or anything like that. Another dumb one is as simple as throwing food to them. Let's say right here, I have a piece of lettuce for him. I take this piece of lettuce and I throw it to him. If he's not seeing that as food, if you see roosters, they'll pick up sticks and throw it a little bit to another rooster. That is a symbol of a challenge to another rooster. So if you're throwing bits of food, bread, any little thing that you think is a harmless little snack, you can be seen as giving a small sign of aggression. As much as you're trying to do good, it can be seen as the wrong thing. Our language, our joy, our happiness is not the same as what a rooster's going to be. Jack, you'll see he's not attacking me right now. And some of the reason is him and I have already done some work together. So things that we're going to do to try and heal the relationship that we can coexist with each other is I'm going to do things like give him food, and I'm going to sit here with him when I give him the food. I'm not going to dump it and go. So here, just giving a little bit of their food. And while I give him the food, make it easy enough for him to get to also. He doesn't have to be right against while you're doing this. But as long as you're in the area, hens are eating, he gets to see that you're not grabbing them, picking them up, things like that. It's going to help with the relationship between you and him. Again, Jack's going to be a little different because he does have one eye. So he's not always able to see where you're at. That can get a little scary for him as well. So, in the best way possible, seeing that his eye is on the side of where he would try and eat, let's move that to the other side so when he gets into the food dish, he can see you're just sitting there and not going after him. There you go. Now, again, no quick, sudden movements, nothing to jump at him for. Do not give him a reason to be scared. He's already scared enough. Don't be one of those people that think you're doing good by grabbing the rooster and put him down on the ground and stand over top of him or flip them over on their back and show your dominance to them. There are ways to do that do not necessarily put more fear into your bird. Once you start doing dominance of those kind of actions where you're putting them on their back, and I'm not saying that I'm one of those people that think the bird can't breathe when they're on their back. I'm saying when you put a bird on their back, you are rendering them defenseless. Just basically like when a fox, coyote come in and grab that bird. The fox or coyote is grabbing that bird and running off with them, usually on their back. They're turned upside down. So, there again, all you're doing is making yourself a scary situation. Don't make yourself a scary situation. Don't make him more afraid of you than he already is. A lot of times, the aggression that you're seeing from the roosters isn't actual aggression, it's fear. They're going to stop you from doing things to them before you do it to them. So there are ways to show some dominance to your roosters that doesn't involve being the scary predator dominant one. And there, I moved my hand too quick and that scared them. So be careful in what you're doing. Be aware of what you're doing. Be aware of your sounds. Be aware of your clothing. Be aware of throwing little things that can be considered challenging your rooster. Those things, if you start working with that, will help be a little more tolerant towards each other. It will also help you be more aware and calm yourself down into dealing with the situation. And again, I'm dealing with a rooster that, as I said, he has one eye. His right eye is missing. But he is also a younger rooster, so his spurs are not really a threat anymore, or not a threat right now. Yes, he can still hurt me. He is a nice sized bird. He is right now probably about 9.5 pounds. Still has some growing to go. But those claws can still hurt. That beak can still hurt. And if anybody's been slapped by those wings, they hurt. So we're going to work with him as much as we can. I will do more videos about Jack and how he's doing, how we're getting along. So right now, being able to sit in here and coexist with him is really good. And this is what your goal is for at least, well, let's say a week. 2 weeks would be better. You're not going to make this progress overnight. This is not an overnight fix. This is not a fix that is always going to be something, if you have a large farm with a lot of birds, a lot of other animals, that you're going to be able to do. Some situations, you're not going to be able to fix the situation, and you're going to have to do what you need to do for your farm, for your family, for your customers, for your visitors that are coming down to the farm. We're lucky enough to have a nice enclosed area, so we don't have to worry about him free ranging with everybody else. If he only had a free range area, we wouldn't be working with him the way we are. Again, we also have him as the only Sandjack Longcrower rooster we have. And how that happened, we end up with 10 hens and 1 rooster, is beyond me. It always seems like when you want a rooster, you never get one. You always have the hens. Well, that's our luck anyways. So we're lucky enough to be able to work with him and keep people that come down here safe and not have to worry about him running and attacking anyone and getting ourselves in trouble because we have aggression. So again, the next thing you're going to want to do is, along with feeding, start offering them treats that are something they enjoy. You can just lay them down in front of you, about the same distance. I say the distance of the food bowl right now is about 4 foot away from me. You're going to slowly do that with the feed and the treats and slowly move it closer towards you. It doesn't have to be right next to you. Don't look for trying to do this immediately. But eventually, at some point, you're going to hopefully get it where you're going to feed him out of your hands. You're going to make that connection to food be with you. You want them to know that's where their food's coming from. That's how they get it. Dumping it in out of a scoop, throwing it in, walking away is not going to get that rooster to identify you as the food giver. So it may take time. If you have the time, wonderful. I hope you have good luck with it. If you don't have the time, we're not downing you if you have to put your bird into a freezer camp or rehome, which I don't always necessarily think rehoming an aggressive rooster is the best thing. It's not fair to the other people that are getting it unless they know what they're dealing with. But good luck with what you're doing. Hopefully this helps. We will be doing more, as I said, within another week or two to continue on with Jack, to hopefully get him to where we don't have to worry about walking around him. He may not be a bird that walks free around the farm, but hopefully he will be a bird that we get to use as a breeder, because he does have some really good qualities to him. Alright, if you watched everything here, you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Thank you for watching.